And like everywhere else in Europe, when you go to the bank, the chance of getting funding on your business plan, no matter how good looking and how easy you find it to talk, you will not get it. They'll be nice to you, they'll make you coffee, but you leave the room the same way you came in, with empty pockets. If you happen to come from a rich family, for example, you might get your dad or somebody to help you out, but in real life, this is harsh reality. And no matter how much our politicians all the time tell us that we're improving, we are improving in fact, but if you're a startup, it's a problem. And we see, like for example, the people at MCAST, my colleague before was mentioning them, I'd like to see these people who also have the knowledge. Before I said our SMEs might not have the knowledge, the seasoned ones. However, the ones that are at MCAST at the moment or at the university who decide to go into entrepreneurship do have the knowledge, then they have the necessary professional training to be able to compete and to be innovative. But unless we help them with funding, they will not manage. I don't like to hear the idea, as my colleague said before, that the business should approach the academics. Some of the academics should become businessmen. The idea of being a businessman, you don't have to be born one. It's not a gift. And government always has to ensure that there are adequate human resources. We believe, as an organization, we believe that this is in fact happening and that the government is handling it quite well. MCAST and schemes like My Potential, for example, the My Potential scheme was awarding of tax credits, it's still active nowadays, for ICT training. And in fact, during the conference today, I was checking my email and I see the news, and I see that the My Potential scheme today has been launched. It's called something new now, and it's going to be extended also to other fields, not just ICT, which is a very, very good thing. The My Potential scheme, as well as the need for trained people, has resulted also in better schools, in my opinion. For example, where I come from the school where I lecture in, is now much bigger than it used to be, and we've got more students and better facilities simply because of these initiatives. And the more we have of them, obviously the better the situation will become. We must also foster the right attitude to encourage young people to opt for business. Last year I attended European Entrepreneurs Workshop in Brussels, which was organized by the ESC. And my group, we asked the question to those present if they should raise their hands if they think that their country has a positive attitude towards success. And believe me, we waited for 5 minutes and nobody raised his hand. Entrepreneurship is still looked at negatively throughout Europe, and Malta is no different. In Malta, businessmen are looked upon as thieves most of the time. Drastic change is needed in this regard. And we also have to work for a positive, on the opposite side, I mean, we have to also work for a positive culture of failure. What do I mean by a positive culture of failure? We must allow for potential poor performance. We must be forgiving. We must allow that somebody can fail and then start again. I always like to mention the story of 7-Up here. 7-Up is called 7-Up because the owner failed 7 times before he made 7-Up. 7 times. In Malta you would be dead and buried if that happened to you. By the first time, not the second, or the third. Entrepreneurs are never given a second chance here in Malta, and elsewhere in Europe as well. And this is why the US does better and is more innovative. At the same time, we have to improve business risk assessment while making sure that businesses adhere to good business practices. And as is outlined, after all, in the Small Business Act. We always, at GRTU, we're always preaching the Small Business Act, and we will keep on preaching it till we see that all of the principles have been met. We also feel that Maltese SMEs have not made the single market their market yet. This might be coming maybe from a colonialist mentality, which we still have here, we're a colony. We are bombarded at GRQ, we are bombarded constantly by SMEs complaining of the franchises that have opened in Malta. This is a bit worrying, and it doesn't augur well for the confidence of Maltese SMEs. We must look at facilitating international and intersectoral mobility of students, because these students, as I said before, might be tomorrow's businessmen. And then when that happens, then we will be accepting the single market. Now about open innovation in general. Open innovation, I've done quite a lot of research about it and I found it very interesting. But I see that in Malta, kupoma is going to have a very tough time, because the Maltese entrepreneur, like most of Europe, is typically reluctant to share information with others. And competition here is extremely fierce. It's a small island where there's quite a few business people here, and obviously the competition is always going to be quite fierce. We have to counteract this mentality, and kupoma could be a step in the right direction. We have to strive to make the Maltese SME understand that sharing of information with others can be mutually beneficial. And besides, there is also the problem that nowadays there is job mobility for trained people, and people leave companies all the time. When they leave, they take with them the knowledge that they would have, some of which would have been acquired while they were working for the company. So regardless of what the business owner thinks, he's still going to be sharing the knowledge. So wouldn't it be better, in effect, to get some other knowledge in return, rather than having knowledge leave? Providing a means to interact effectively like kupoma, and I've just learned during the last about IRC, which was very interesting as well, is obviously a step in the right direction. And we would welcome the opportunity to work with kupoma on this, as Jackie, our friend mentioned that they're going to be working with SME organizations, and from here I invite you to get in touch with us and we can offer you help. In fact, I would have even liked to see more people attending here, and if we could easily have got more people, because many of our seminars will have quite good attendance, because contrary to what some people believe, Maltese businessmen are very interested in new things. Finally, we believe that in spite of my criticism, the Maltese entrepreneur still has good ideas and could make it in innovation. We're afraid that a lot of ideas might end up in a drawer and not get used. We must tackle the bottlenecks that prevent good ideas from reaching the market. Through open innovation, we can overcome these barriers and produce better results. And finally, the Europe 2.0 strategy, which has been recently published last June, has research innovation at its core. We should take a good look at the existing 8 frameworks and be innovative ourselves to ensure the maximum uptake and ultimate success. It is of utmost importance to listen to the needs of SMEs and to direct funding where it is most needed. Thank you.